Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. We're coming to you live from the Singapore Fintech Festival, and joining me to close out our 5th year of coverage at SFF, we have Rich Teo. He is the co-founder and Asia CEO of Paxos. We're going to talk about stablecoin potential in the region and beyond. Rich, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Thanks for having me, Jill.
And great way to round it out. You secured a major payments institution license from MAS, the Monetary Authority of Singapore. What does this license mean for Paxos?
Well, so, we've been interacting with regulators globally for the last decade. The first license we got in 2015 from the New York Department of Financial Services, later on from the OCC in the United States. We want to be able to expand globally, and we think of Singapore as a hub outside of the US. We got our in-principle approval from the MAS back in February. And now that has been converted to a full license two days ago. So that's going to enable us to grow more from Singapore. We believe that Singapore is going to be a great financial hub, especially in the Web3 space, and we want to do more here. So, what that entails is, really bringing our two primary businesses into the region. The first one being crypto brokerage. So our crypto brokerage enables fintech companies or any other sort of e-commerce companies to allow their users to engage and buy wholesale crypto products in a very safe, regulated way. The other main business is tokenized assets, where we just take real-world assets that exist, anywhere, and we tokenize them and enable them to trade on the blockchain. So the largest one for that we do is US dollars, right. And our large one is in partnership with Binance for BUSD, and then we also have the largest tokenized gold token. So those products and our core businesses, we will bring into the region and hope to interact more outside the US and right. within Asia.
So tell me about BUSD. It's a leading regulated global stablecoin. It's grown significantly in the last few months.
Yeah. So, BUSD is 3 years old. We started it in partnership with Binance, mm-hmm. and Paxos as a stablecoin as a service platform provider. That was our second stablecoin that we issued on behalf of a partner. So, it's grown from 0 to 22.5 billion today over a 3-year period.
Wow.
And so that's it's good growth, but I think the industry as a whole has grown a lot. We saw, I guess, in the last couple of years, regulated stablecoins like us. That word regulated just didn't really mean all that much in the industry, because most stablecoins people thought of as very fungible, right? So, it's all roughly the same. They're all worth roughly $1. And I actually commented many times that unregulated stablecoins are growing at a faster rate than regulated stablecoins. And just to take a quick step back, we are regulated in the US, our stablecoin business, by the New York Department of Financial Services, which sets the rules for what we can do and what reserves we hold, the fact that we're bankruptcy remote, and also enforces all the rules that are put in place, right? So, as a regular stablecoin, we see that the unregulated players are growing at a much faster rate than us. What really propelled us was when the market had a hard reset, looking at the failures of other stablecoins, algorithmic stablecoins like Luna, put into question in the reserves of other stablecoins. So I would say that prior to the second half of this year, unregulated stablecoins were growing much faster than us. But since then, unregulated stablecoins have shrunk, and we have grown significantly.
Right.
So I think it takes a bit of time, and unfortunately, it takes a bit of a market collapse and a hard reset for people to actually take a step back and say, hey, we want a stablecoin that is really backed. We want a stablecoin that is regulated. We want a stablecoin that we can trust. So I think that has really helped us grow significantly in the last couple of months.
Right, and I think in order for the space to mature, because it is so young, that we need to learn what some of the failures could be to put the proper infrastructure and regulation into place. To your point, what do you think about the potential for global adoption of regulated stablecoins in Singapore and beyond for 2023, knowing that we've had this fallout?
Right. So, I think first off, in order for mass adoption to happen, mm-hmm. I don't think the right way is to just try to, individually force it onto consumers or market it that way. So we believe the right approach is to work with and partner with companies that actually have a user base, are trusted by their users, and basically enable them to empower their users to basically adopt stablecoins as a means of cost savings, speed, efficiency, or whatever it is. So we think that's the best way to do it, other than us just outwardly trying to market it. So that's what we're going to continue to do. In terms of BUSD specifically, we plan to really spend 2023 thinking about building out stronger infrastructure. So I think that's what's really going to matter. We think of it as kind of the base of money in a Web3 world, and that infrastructure requires a lot to build. And we think that that paired with good partnerships will be important for mass adoption.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was going to ask you that question. It might seem a bit redundant here, but why do enterprises want to work with regulated issuers and regulated blockchain infrastructure? Or maybe I should rephrase that and say, in order for mass adoption to continue to occur and for the space to continue to mature, right, it's going to have to be regulated.
Yes. So there are really two types of players that we consider our targeted clients. One is really the traditional fintech players. The other are, I would say, e-commerce players, right? And for them to want to adopt this technology, either to sell crypto or to make faster payments. And what we've found in conversations is that they have regulators themselves, that they are regulated in some other way, and working with a regulated partner is extremely important. It's almost the first checkbox they have to tick. So I think that's really happening.
Especially for traded companies too.
Exactly. So when you look at stablecoin alternatives out there, we do believe that Paxos' stablecoin services is the only choice, the only viable choice. Really, if you are a large, publicly traded, regulated company, answering the regulators and hold consumer standards to very high regard. Right? So I think, one thing I talked about at the session yesterday as well was that consumer protection is not just something that, in Web3, consumer protection is not just something that you write in a website or you just talk about in a paper. You can embed it into an actual product, right? So when our stablecoins, BUSD or any others issued by Paxos, when our stablecoins say that we have consumer protection, we really mean that everything is fully backed, everything is fully reserved for, and is fully bankruptcy remote. So in the space, I believe that we are the only ones in the space that can offer that entire suite of services.
All right, Rich, appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks.
Thanks for having me.
You got it, and thanks for joining me throughout the Singapore Fintech Festival. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.